My first guest tonight, David Brenner, claims to hold the world's record for having appeared on more television talk shows than any other human being in the history of the world. I hope he is right this time. Would you please welcome one of the good guys, Mr. David Brenner. David. Yesterday, you know, I love to play golf, all right? So yesterday, I announced to the staff, I said, the golf season is over, and they said, well, now, do you ever go skiing? I said, you know what's coming. I went skiing once in my life with you when we were married people. Yeah. We went to, what was it, Bill Walker's Motel in the Poconos. Some little place, yeah. Yeah, and he and I went down the hill one time, and that was it. No more skiing.
For you, but I became a skier.
Oh, no, you're kidding.
Oh, yeah,
oh,
no, I
the orthopedic surgeons love you.
These are great. I mean, the pimples, I thank you for clearing up the pimples. But as far as skiing, I continued. I just skied this past winter. Oh, I continued. I remember you. You looked very good on the skis until you moved. That's when the whole part, you looked like majestic up there. Right? Like this. And I said, all right, let's go down. And the whole thing crumbled.
Now, is it true, really, that you've appeared on more talk shows as a guest than any other person?
Yeah, I read that in the book of lists. And actually, what's interesting, they picked out a period where I did less appearances than I normally do. So if they continued...
I haven't seen you on The Tonight Show for quite a while.
No, I was just on it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be on it again the 24th.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay.
I do that 12 to 20 times a year, something like that. But altogether, I guess I've been...
That's kind of loose change for you, isn't it? The $500 they pay, just kind of pin money.
Well, yeah, very expensive pins. I mean, that's your career, actually. That's the investment. When I first started doing it, and I had no money, my first Tonight Show, I had $3 here in this building. I'll tell you how the mind works. I had $3, and that's all to my name. Now I'm doing the Tonight Show for the first time. All right, let's go. And they walk you down the hall. You're going to go on. You have your 8 minutes, right? I'm walking down the hall, and I said, I can't do it. Wait a minute. They thought I chickened out, because I'm like always cool. I said, I got to go back to the dressing room. They said, no, it's going to be all right. I said, I know it's going to be all right. The $3. I left them in my jeans. All I was worried about, forget the television show, I was just worried about getting ripped off for $3.
Right, hey, cab fare, huh?
I had to get home, so it was a failure. What am I supposed to do, walk?
Of all the talk shows that you've ever been on, and now don't do this to me when I ask this question, what is the worst one, where the guy was totally unprepared, where he was not in command of his faculties at all, and where he just made a complete fool of himself in your presence? Don't you do it to me
No, it wasn't
I've had plenty today. I don't need any more.
I know, no, it wasn't you at all, no. I'll tell you what it was. It was a talk show in Las Vegas, outside of Las Vegas. If you can imagine anything being outside of that little town.
Where was it, Hoover Dam?
Somewhere even worse. They said, do a local talk show. And I said, okay, fine. I was with Sonny Bono then. Sonny and Cher were hot then, and we were working together. They drive us into the desert. An open, it looked like you expected a little plane to be pushed out of it. We walk in, it's hot. There's a dead dog on the floor. A fella says, all right, you all come on together, I'll bring you on. And there's no one else. There's one cameraman is like this. He's standing behind the camera like that. And no one else is there. There's no audience or anything. And it's hot, 115, 120 degrees hot. So he said, I'll bring you on. Now he walks out, he has a record introduce him, right? There's no audience. And now the host of the show, whatever it is, Tom Pipper. And you hear like 10,000 people. And he walks out in front of a curtain and he says, thank you very much. You'll be excited to know that today on the show I have Sonny Bono and David Brenner. We'll be back with him right after this commercial message. Wah! There's no one there, you hear. From the record, wah! Now we sit down and he brings us out. Come on out, and here he is. Comedian David Brenner. Wah! 10,000 people. Now I sit down, and he starts to joke around with me. Well, I know. I tell a joke. You don't hear any laughter. There's no one there. There's a dead dog. So I said, wait a minute. Let's get something straight. I mean, I hate to blow your whistle, but there's no one here but the dead dog and your cameraman. Because I don't want people at home thinking, geez, Brenner came on. They loved him when he walked out, but no one laughed. And it was the worst. The guy had the worst question. It fit the dead dog and everything. I got the worst questions. Everything was wrong.
Do you do the local ones too?
I do I do a lot of local shows because they're funny. They're really funny. They have the teams, you know, the male-female teams.
Oh yes, the boy-girl, very important.
Yeah. You know who's with us today, Barbara? No, who, Harry? And then they pick up something. Someone will pick up something like, you know, you can hit a stick ball, you know, and then they all make me hit a half ball from Philadelphia. And so all around the country, I'm hitting half balls like an idiot.
Yeah.
Right, hit a half ball. Hit it right next town, you know, in Des Moines. Hey, we hear you hit a half ball. Is that right? Yeah, hit a half ball. So I'm leaving half balls all over America. These shows, yeah, I do anything.
But they're helpful if you're playing a city, aren't they? They get the word out.
They're everything. You go into a local town, people see on all the shows, they see on your show, they see me on Douglas and Griffin and and Carson and all. But when they see it on their own show, there are a lot of people don't watch these other shows. I hate to tell you this time.
I know that.
But there's a lot, yeah, right.
It's been made painfully clear.
No, a lot of people watch World War II. It doesn't say it was a great thing to have. So a lot of people don't watch network shows, but they watch a local show. And then I'm plugging where I'm going to be in their town. You know how you know a town is bad? You know how I know a town's going to be boring for me? If the biggest thing in the town is me. You know what I mean? Like you get in a car, you say, take me where the action is, and he drives you to the theater where you're playing.
Let me stop for the commercials. We'll continue with David Brenner right after these announcements. Back with David Brenner. You did not have a great success in the television series business. I remember you had a pilot called Snips.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're being nice. You're being nice. It wasn't I didn't have a success. It was like Alabama.
Okay, but that's all right.
That's another record. You know, I'm the only performer ever in the history of television who had a show canceled a week before the new season began.
Listen, you think that's bad? There was a story in the Times this morning about an actor on Broadway whose show opened and closed in the same night. This poor man moved here from, I think, from somewhere with his family. And he opened up the other night, and he closed the same night. He was on his way to the cast party, and the guy says it's all over.
I heard he had a rented tux. He gave it back.
Right, exactly right.
Well, what happened with mine was it's interesting. They aired Snip in Australia, Monday through Friday. No one knows me in Australia, right? And they aired it Monday through Friday, this television show called Snip, starring a person no one knows in Australia. Biggest hit in the history of Australian television.
Okay.
They called up and said, send us all you have. And the guy said, we just did. Because we only did 7, they only finished 5. You know, it was funny, but it was ahead of its time, I think, or whatever. I don't know, network mentality. They said it was too something like, not risque, but, you know,
it was a spin-off of Shampoo, wasn't it?
Sort of, yeah. What they didn't like, I think, I never got the definitive thing. I was so glad to get out of L.A. and get back on the road. I didn't even wait for the answer why it was canceled. I mean, I was so happy to get out of that town.
You don't like that town, do you?
Ooh, please. It's so plastic. If it ever had a fire, the people would melt and stick together. Forget that town. I mean, L.A., it just isn't for me.
But how can you say, I mean...
You know, we've talked about this years ago.
I know, but you go there to work.
That's the only thing. I go there. I'm doing the Tonight Show the 24th. Let me tell you something. I leave New York City at 12 noon. I arrive in L.A. at 2:35. They take me to NBC. I tape the Tonight Show. I'm done the Tonight Show at 6:30. I stop on La Cienega. I get a slice of pizza that's men's and men's. I go out to the airport. 10:35. I'm on the plane. I'm back here in New York at 6:35 in the morning. I won't even sleep there.
Couldn't you maybe do a little bit better in this business if you would live in Los Angeles?
I would do great.
You know, where the...
You hit it exactly. My career would be much better off probably if I lived there. But you got to decide between work style and lifestyle. You know, I'm a very happy human being. I don't need, if you doubled my income, I wouldn't be doubling my happiness. So why am I going to kill myself out there in a place I don't want to live? I mean, it's great for the people who live there. But
you are one of the people, I mean, you know, you're a star. I don't see your name in a lot of the columns here in town or pictures at the disco openings.
No, I am at the discos every night, but I'm really not... I'm not like...
Shame on you.
Yeah, no. What else are you going to do? Museums aren't open past 12 midnight. Let's be honest about it. I like all these discos. I go. Magique, I'm there all the time, and Xenon 54, sure. But here's the story.
Are you out on the floor kind of bumping around
I'm a dancer. Come on, Philadelphians. We started with shaboom shaboom.
Oh, okay.
I don't make the gossip columns so much, and I'm glad. You know, they really don't tag me. And I'll tell you how to handle the paparazzi. What I have always done with the paparazzi, the people who take the picture, they'll jump out of the bushes and take a picture. They don't have to jump out of any bushes. They just go, Dave, and I go, what do you want me to do? Stand here?
Same here. Well, hey,
I pose, you know, give them this, and you find it. They take the picture, and they usually don't use it because they're like, how many times can you see that?
Yeah.
David Brenner seen it.
Did you go to 54 when it was hot?
I went to 54 when it first opened, when it was the hottest. I went to Xenon when it first opened. I was at Magique the first night it opened.
What is the magic like of standing outside in the street at 54?
I have no idea, because I wouldn't do that. I'm in, you know what I mean? Some people see the Tonight Show, and they know I'm a star, and they let me... No, what I do, I think that the magic of disco, you know, to me it's a release. And it's something to do at night. I'm nocturnal. You know, this is a great city. That's one of the reasons I don't live in L.A., if you want the truth. There's nothing to do past 11 o'clock at night. I can't take it. I'm a night person. And in this city, you go to a restaurant at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then I go over to one of the discos. I'm there till 5 in the morning. It's something to do. I don't like watching television. I don't watch television. I hate to say that. But
No, that's
really
okay, but I'm just wondering, I mean, are you bored in your life that you can't stay home and read a book?
No,
once
no,
in a
I don't
while?
sleep that much. I sleep maybe 3 hours a night. You know, that gives me 21 hours of life. You got to fill it in. I'll read a book, usually on a plane. Because, see, there are some people like to read books, or some people like to write books, and there's some people like to live a life that someday someone might write a book about. And I'm in the last category. I don't want to read a book, I don't want to write one, I just want to live one. You know?
Okay, all right, let me stop for the commercial. We'll continue with David Brenner after this for our sponsors and the NBC television stations. The one and only, folks, David Brenner.
Oh, that's it. You know, that has rejuvenated my whole career. I enjoy
What do you mean
performing.
rejuvenated your career?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy going around the country. I've been on the road 12 years as a comedian. I'm one of the last of a breed of road comedians where you go around from town to town. That's how you learn your craft. And I like it. But it's, all right, I've been here before. I've been here before that. I was here before that. Now, all of a sudden, I go into a town, and I'm working with Joan Rivers, and it's a whole new show. It's a new phenomenon.
But that's unusual for a comedian and a comedian to work together. Usually they have a juggler first or a high wire act or something, and then you come out.
Well, what happened is that we couldn't work for 2 years. No one would accept us because they said that no one wanted to see two comedians on the same bill. Like, we don't have enough to give us trouble, so we don't want to laugh nowadays. Everything's so wonderful. Who wants to laugh?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the mentality. And we fought for 2 years to get together on the stage. And it works. It is magic. Because at a time when the economy is bad and everybody's business is down, Joan and I are standing room only. Every single theater, concert hall, nightclub we have worked. We've been working since February. Vegas, we're going in. They're supposed to get a deal at the Riviera for some weeks this year. We're waiting to hear about it. We will or not get
Wait,
deal.
this could be it right here.
This could be it. Yeah.
No,
Go ahead, I'll be there. I'll be. But it's something wonderful because we're so different. Joan Rivers, you know, it's interesting. She plays the part you would think a man would have, well, he would have played probably in the 40s. She's bawdy, outspoken, attacks the Queen of England, Elizabeth Taylor, anyone, and she'll use any language and she'll put down anyone, right? Now, she's a little petite, nice little 5'2", blonde, petite, little thin thing. Now, out comes the guy, right from the streets of Philadelphia. I don't insult anyone. I use nice language. I never curse on stage. It's a complete turnaround. And together, it's magic on that stage.
Now, do you take turns opening, or is that, oh, really?
We flip a coin.
You're kidding.
No, we stand in the wings, dressed up to go on, and we flip a coin. We throw it in a bucket now because she didn't believe me with the hands, you know. Yeah. So she wins most of the time, though. Interesting enough, I would say that she has won over 90% of the time. I've never seen anything like it. Doesn't matter if I call heads, tails, what. And then I go out. Then I finish, I bring Joan out, and then at the end, this is the best part of the show for us, and I think for the audience. At the end, Joan and I sit on little stools there, and we take questions from the audience. And there's no prepared stuff. I mean, we just take whatever they may be curious about. And we talk to the audience for about 20 minutes. They get to really talk to us instead of through a television tube. Or,
okay, and it's probably not all tell me a joke, but to ask you about your life. And,
and ask us questions. And of course, we try to be humorous about it because that's our bent, right? That's the way we are. But at the same time, they'll ask us some serious questions. We handle it that way.
Do you play a lot of weeks in Vegas still?
I still do.
I know you were doing like 16 weeks a year there.
I still do 16, 20 weeks in Vegas, but Vegas is changing, Tom. It's changing with the economy. It's changing. There are very few hotels that are going to line shows with girls dancing out, girl
like
shows.
Revues or the Lido shows.
The Desert Inn brings in Annie and all kinds of Broadway shows. And I hear the Aladdin may go to a show, a line show with girls, and the Hilton may go. So there are very few, and the business is shrinking and shrinking. It's.
What do you think it is? The economy?
It's a combination. It's the economy. People want to get as much as they can out of their money. It's also performers' faults because performers have jacked the prices so high that it's unreasonable for the hotels. They have to charge the people more to come in to see a show. You know, when the Bugsy Siegel boys ran the town, they used to say, give them whatever they want because they're not going to leave the hotel with their money.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to stop at the tables. Now that businessmen run it, they want to make money in the coffee shops, so they say, well, wait a minute, let's raise coffee up to $1.10 a cup. You know, it's like OPEC.
And let's serve cream in little plastic containers so that we don't have to throw any away, and sugar in little envelopes, and everything it's all portion control, and it's all
everything's all
pre-wrapped.
business.
Yeah, it's all.
So it's a combination of the economy and the hotels and the airlines not having so many flights out there and the performers overcharging. So that's why Joan Rivers and I very smartly have kept our prices reasonable, and we do a lot of work there because we bring in more people, I think, than we're getting paid for. But that's okay with me because I'd rather be underpaid
And work.
and overworked. You know what I mean?
Yes.
At this point in this economy.
Yes, one can be overpaid and underworked, but that usually doesn't last for a long period of time.
No,
That
and
does
I
come
could have
to
gone
an-
into my father's business, but who wants to be unemployed?
You had some time, and we talked about this in the past, in the documentary business, the news business. Is that helpful at all in comedy? In being able to look at reality and find the things in it that are humorous?
Well, I always thought funny, even when I was making documentaries. But I'll tell you, I felt that instead of making the documentaries and trying to change the world's problems, which I realize I'm not doing, I'd rather make the people who have those problems laugh while they have the problem. So I'm sort of like the salve. Instead of the surgeon, I'm the man who comes along with the salve and says, listen, this isn't going to change your problem, but you're going to feel better for 45 minutes. And, oh, that's great. So that's what the only experience that television had to help me as a comedian was that when I walked out on The Tonight Show for the first time, I think I did so well on television because I knew everything that everyone was doing. It wasn't, what's that man moving there? What's he pulling? You know, as I'm trying to perform. I knew he's pulling the cable because he has to dolly the camera. So the television studio was very comfortable for me. I was uncomfortable in nightclubs, but not in television. So
How uncomfortable?
Nightclubs, I had hardly ever gone to a nightclub. You know, I never went to. Why am I going to go to see a nightclub? You know, in Philadelphia, we hung out on the street corner and told jokes and sang and danced. And we didn't go to clubs. Yeah. So I was uncomfortable getting up there where people were drinking. That was uncomfortable. But for television, I was right at home. And I think that's why my career really took off, because I was so comfortable in the studio.
Did it ever take off? And nobody deserves it more. Thank you for your friendship over all these years and all the nice things that you've done.
Can I do something for a second here? I hope you won't mind.
Do you have
I was reading the New York Times this morning. You know, there's an intro next to the article about the guy who opened and closed in one day was a thing about you.
Yes,
and,
amazing, isn't it?
It seems to be a shift in, but I thought something interesting. Everyone knows that you'll be doing what you'll be doing, but what I thought was that at the bottom is the classified, and I circle one little house that's really reasonable in case things don't go well. It's a little farm out there in Sheepshead Bay, so God bless you, Tom.
Okay,
you know?
God bless you both, David. We'll be right back after this for the NBC television station.